had already slept with him, and she's like, well, I want him in my life, so I'm gonna say yes. And so they hook up like secretly, and I love that. Like, I love when characters are like secretly seeing each other behind like friends or family's backs. But while all this is going on, it goes back and forth between Tate's point of view, which is like present time, and Miles' point of view, which is 6 years ago. And it like tells you why he doesn't want love, why he's so scared of it. And so in that perspective, he is 18 years old and he falls in love with Rachel. Rachel ends up becoming his like step sister. Granted, they already knew each other prior, but then his dad and then her mom get together, and it's like this awkward, like, are you kidding me? Like, I have feelings for you type of thing. And they end up secretly like seeing each other and being together without their parents knowing, which is like, their parents aren't married, but they always kept that in the back of their heads. And then their parents want to get married, and then they're like, okay, oh my god, like, what's gonna happen? And then, okay, I'm not gonna tell you because I was like blown away when I found that out too. But it's basically from that relationship back to Tate and Miles, and I'm going like back and forth, like invested in both relationships. I'm low-key more invested in Rachel and Miles' relationship because there's like so much, like, it's so wholesome that I love it. Granted, it's like, okay, like, they're basically like stepbrother and stepsister, but I don't think about that. I think about because they knew each other prior. And yeah, I am so in love. So let's just get into reading the book because I already explained too much. I am on the point of view of present time with Tate and Miles. Okay. Miles, what are you doing? Homework. I feel like taking a swim break. Question mark, question mark, question mark. It's February. The rooftop pool is heated. It doesn't close for another hour. I stare at the text, then immediately look up at Corbin. There's a rooftop pool here. Corbin nods his head, but doesn't look away from the TV. Yup. I sit up straight. Are you kidding me? I've lived here this long, and you fail to tell me there's a heated rooftop pool. He faces me now in tracks. I hate pools. I could slap him. Corbin never mentioned there was a pool. Let me change, and I'll head over there. Miles sends a winky face. I realize I forgot to knock as soon as I close the door to his apartment. I always knock. Guess my mentioning in a text that I was coming over after I changed seemed good enough to me. But the way Miles is staring at me from the doorway of his bedroom makes me think he doesn't like the fact that I didn't knock. I pause in his living room and look at him, waiting to see what mood he's in today. You're in a bikini, he says poignantly. I look down at my attire and shorts, I say defensively. I look back up at him. What are people supposed to wear when they swim in February? He's still standing, frozen in his doorway, staring at my attire. I fold my towel across my arms and over my stomach. I suddenly feel extremely awkward and underdressed. He shakes his head and finally begins moving towards me. He's still staring at my bikini. I hope no one is up there, because if you're wearing that bikini, these swim shorts are going to be really embarrassing. He looks down at his shorts at the obvious. I laugh, so he actually likes the bikini. He takes another step forward and slides his hands around to the back of my shorts, then the city. Miles swims up behind me and cages me in by pressing his chest against my back and placing his hands on either side of that ledge. He rests his head against mine as we both take in the view. It's beautiful, I whisper. He's quiet. Watch the city in silence for what seems like forever. Every now and then he'll cup his hands and bring water up to my shoulders to warm my chills away. Have you always lived it's something you don't want in a love story, but it's still written in it, and it just makes you like love the book and you even more because it's exactly what you want in a book. But at the same time, it's like not, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Alright, let's just finish this chapter. Don't say that out loud though. I don't say anything because I can't date. His voice fades away and he grows quiet. I analyze his words and the fact that he said I can't rather than I won't. I want to ask him why he can't. Is he scared? Is it because I'm not right for him? Is he afraid he'll break my heart? I don't ask him because none of his answers to these questions would reassure me. None of these scenarios is reason enough to absolutely deny a heart happiness. That's why I don't question it. Because I feel like maybe I'm not prepared for the truth. Maybe I'm underestimating whatever it was that happened in his past to make him this way. Because something happened. Something I more than likely couldn't relate to. Even if I found out what it was. Something that stole that spirit right out of him. Just like Cap said. His arms pull me in tighter. And the hold he has on me speaks volumes. It's more than an embrace. More than a hug. Holding me like he's terrified I drown if to release me. Tate, he whispers. I know I'll regret saying this, but I want you to hear it. He pulls back just enough for his lips to meet my hair, then grips me tightly again. If I were capable of loving someone, it would be you. I can't handle this. I cannot handle this. Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot. Okay. Okay. It would be you. My heart cracks with his words, and I feel the hope seep in and leak right ICC